Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This week we're doing a little special episode because a little thing called Rise of the Beast came out. And myself and Boo of the AxalonUnderground.net, who does a lot of our GIFs and a lot of our images, he's going to be on with me this week because as much as it seems like I know about Transformers, he knows a lot more. And he has this great list of Easter eggs throughout the movie because that movie is chock full of Easter eggs. So thanks everyone for being here, and let's get started.
Hello.
I was just riffing there, man. Sorry.
That's
Um,
all right.
so yeah, we saw it ourselves on Saturday. And I know you saw it yourself recently as well.
Oh yeah.
First of all, what was your impression?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great. Uh it pretty much it met a lot of the expectations I had for the movie.
yeah, same
Yeah.
thing here. I actually exceeded a lot of the expectations I had for the movie because I was not really looking forward to how the beasts are going to look, how they acted, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get a lot of them, but what we got, I liked. And they touched on so many very special touchstones of the Beast Wars lore, which is really nice. And I think we're going to go into that a bit as we go on.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the same thing here. I loved it. I was, I, I have a problem putting Bumblebee up with the rest of the Bay movies because it's kind of its own separate animal. But of all
Mm-hmm.
those big cast movies, I think it's my favorite of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Even little things that I was worried about and people who were kind of complaining about that I thought I was going to have a problem with came out really nicely.
Yeah,
So
I like the way they did the beast modes on there because I mean, if they went I guess in the same vein as the TV show, then we'd end up with like Lion King.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think that would have like kind of taken some of the believability out of it if they looked like real animals.
yeah, exactly. And honestly, they having them sort of I guess demigods or avatars to this indigenous people was a really good choice. I thought. I mean, you
Oh
see,
yeah.
yeah, you saw better than that with the almost. I guess it was early drawings that they found in the temple of large animals and people worshiping them.
Hmm.
So it was all a nice touch. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was fantastic too. I was surprised our friend Jim, he's from the old Axel Underground days.
Oh
He came
yeah.
out that thing like excited, and yeah, he said, "Yeah, there's small gripes, but he says that thing was such a great movie." Actually he's very he is very much into the arts, very much into filming photography, and he had nothing bad to say about the movie. He thought it was fantastic. Yeah, it's a popcorn movie. We all know
Oh
that.
yeah.
It's just there's no other way around it. It's
That's
not
Transformers.
yeah, it's not high art. We didn't go
Yeah.
home in the afternoons after school to watch Masterpiece Theater. Came to watch Transformers.
Right.
So yeah, man, let's get this started. I really like how they started on their Beast World, which with Apelinq, which is a nice throwback to the BotCon Apelinq. And
And there's a double Easter egg there because you know who Apelinq was actually kind of based on, right?
no, I don't actually.
Glenn Hallett.
Nice.
Yeah, they were both former engineers.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the first Easter eggs you get is, first of all, it's the first BotCon character to show up in, one of these live action movies.
Yeah.
And then it's also one that is based roughly on Glenn Hallett,
Yeah, one of the
who
three.
used to, yeah, one of the three H's.
Yeah. So that's actually really cool. I miss those old BotCon days. They were I feel like they were a lot more fun, a lot more personable.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, so you get that, and that was it wasn't a lung fight or anything like that, but it gives you the weight of how that movie's going to go. The entire movie's going to go. He pretty much gets taken out quickly.
Oh yeah. And did you catch that they played Unicron's theme, like a new version of Unicron's theme in the beginning?
Man, I'm gonna have to go watch it again, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's
It's
been very
the
quiet.
from the 1986 movie Unicron's theme.
Yeah.
They have like a really heavy synth version of it. When he first shows up
Okay.
and you hear it more when he starts eating.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check it out. It may have been like low because the theater we were in, there's the heavy bass surround sound
Yeah.
stuff. It may have been kind of low in there, so that'd be a
Hmm.
really good thing to watch, not in the theater. Which it's weird to say that because you want to see things in the big surround sound theaters. but I feel like you miss a lot of subtle things like that.
Right.
So I'm gonna be glad to check that out as well. But a lot of people are asking the insignias because, of course, he rips off the Maximal insignia and spot welds it right on his arm.
Right.
And so a lot of people are asking what a lot of the insignias are. I mean, you have a wrecker insignia with the two hammers. You
Yeah,
have,
that's the actually the Tread and Circuits records insignia from
yeah,
like the newer comic. They did what 2021?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
2021.
yeah, they have the Autobot Elite Guard, which is made big by the animated cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they had Predacons on there, so obviously there are Predacons in this world.
Right.
So no, it's kind of neat, and of course,
There's also Decepticon symbol,
oh
and
yes,
there's a mercenary symbols on his grill. He's got several mercenary symbols,
now I
like
always see
Sound Blaster from the War for Cybertron trilogy.
like the Quintesson style faces.
Right.
Okay, I have to
Yeah.
go back in there to watch that again. Then that's really some nice nods. It's basically showing what's all in this universe.
Right. Or at least what was in the universe before Scourge Metal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the truth too.
Right.
Of course, we get introduced to the big MacGuffin pretty early, which I had no problem with at all. That was, there's going to be a MacGuffin in big, high stakes, movies like this.
Oh yeah. I mean, even if you go like the National Treasures,
Mhm.
it's the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't even matter what it is. It's just how it gets the plot moving along.
right. Ocean's 11. They're going after the cash.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always something everybody wants.
Yeah.
And this is another Easter egg because,
Oh,
Transwarp comes straight from Beast Wars episode 1. They
yeah,
come
yeah.
through Transwarp portals, which travel through space and time. And
Yep.
then you have a reference to that later when AirRaiser says they're from the future and the past.
They're a more advanced race, essentially,
Right.
which the Maximals and Predacons were.
Mm-hmm.
They were basically more, I guess, in the Beast Wars cartoon, more fuel efficient, as it
Oh,
were.
yeah. Archaic Energon Guzzlers.
Exactly. And I mean, you get a lot of it throughout the film. How Primal will say this isn't how I pictured Optimus Prime. Yeah, I guess you build up a hero image in your head. I mean, he was obviously named after Prime.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if they're from the future, then he's going to be a different Optimus Prime because they're
Yeah.
going to see that end result of Prime rather than, it's like we have George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. If you met them in their like teens, you'd probably think, wow, this guy's a jerk or something.
Or Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
man. I don't even want to go there.
I knew a lot of people really idolized Andrew Jackson when I was growing
Ooh,
up. Yeah,
well, that's
exactly.
growing up in the South. So, oh, Hickory.
It's like a whole Stonewall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I mean, you're introduced to a really good villain, and I think Andre said that this is a really brave idea for them to go with a major Transformers movie that didn't have Megatron or a form of him as the main villain,
Right.
because it's like the constant struggle as Optimus Prime versus Megatron. It's back and forth, or Galvatron, or whatever else you want to call him.
Right.
So to have a completely separate villain, and don't there's no way to mistake it. He's a villain. I mean, there's no shades of gray here.
Oh, yeah. He's really evil.
Oh yeah,
And he's a double Easter egg because, there's a reference to Scourge, the Unicronian from the 1986 movie. And then there's Scourge from Rid, the Robots in Disguise, who was like the evil truck. So it's like they kind of merged the two of them together to make
this
this new
guy.
character. That guy, yeah.
Yep,
You had him ready.
I did. I actually found him the other day when I was looking through stuff.
You were zooming him around, weren't you?
Man, these are great desk fodder because they're so small.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They work in
Anyways,
Hot Wheels tracks.
they probably do actually. Yeah, they're about the right size. So yeah, you have that as a double Easter egg, which by the way, Peter Dinklage did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
The dude has weight behind his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if anyone watching Game of Thrones, you know that he has menace behind his voice when he wants to. So that was really good. But
Yeah, he was really scary.
yeah, I
He
mean,
did
you
a good
see him
job.
through the jungle with like it's all dark in there. You see the dark energon burning in his chest and his eyes. Man, that was a great way to bring him in like that.
Oh yeah, he looked creepy.
Oh, he did.
And
Fantastic.
he was almost like undead, especially like when you see
Yeah.
his face in the
Yeah.
end. It's like he's almost got like a zombie transformer face under there.
Oh, 100%. And I agree
Yeah.
completely. I think with well, we can kind of move this along though. You said the whole gathering of the Maximals and Apelinq names Primal the new leader, and he
Hmm.
tells him to get out of there. So with some hesitance and some resistance, they finally take off, grab the key, and leave. And I like that they just had this like almost like a teaser thing right before the part of the story of the people get involved. And I gotta say, man, I'm definitely not a fan of people in Transformers stories. Shia and Megan Fox and all that stuff. They had their funny moments, but it just got really annoying after a while. You wanted to see more robot action.
Right.
But I liked Noah's story.
Hmm.
Is it Anthony Ramirez? It was a believable story.
Yeah.
He got he's discharged from the army, and he's trying to find work. Of course, you're gonna have something like he's a electronics wizard. Like he can hotwire cable boxes and that sort of thing.
Right.
Because like Wahlberg's character in the like 5 and 6,
Yeah.
he had to have some sort of he was an inventor or whatever.
Cade
So
Yeager. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, honestly, Noah, I didn't mind him at all. He gave a believable reason for him to be in the situation he was in,
Hmm.
and he didn't look like he was jittery, dirty, and sweaty all the time,
Right.
like Megan and Fox and
He
Shia.
wasn't glistening.
God,
Missed
just
him.
break your stomach now. Um, yeah, but yeah, he actually looked believable. And Elena's character, I know the actress's name. I heard it a few times. You're in science.
Hmm.
I'm in science. My wife is in science. We know how interns struggle.
Oh yeah.
It's tough, and that is a 100% believable situation. Being an
Yeah, it looked
intern,
very accurate.
oh, it was very accurate. People said that was kind of silly. Like, no, that's 100% accurate. Someone realizes they have a not every scientist or person in museums like this, but there are people out there that say like, oh, I've got someone I can beat up and abuse. Cool, you're gonna do all this stuff for me.
Oh yeah, and
That's
take all their credit.
Yep, that's legitimately the life. It could be the life of someone doing that. So I liked she was a completely believable character. It did not feel like what's the word I'm looking for? It did not feel like they were trying to find a black actress and Hispanic actor. They
Hmm.
actually just felt like they belong there.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
no
they
virtue,
fit.
no virtue signaling.
Yeah, nah, they fit very well with the
Yeah,
story.
which is great. Yeah,
Well, and it's New York. New York's a melting pot, more so than
Brooklyn.
probably anywhere else in the US.
Yeah, it was Brooklyn in the '90s.
Right.
And so that's, I mean, one of my good friends, Ariel. I want to say he's from, I don't think he's from Brooklyn. I think he's from Queens. He's gonna yell at me about this. So I'm gonna get it wrong, but he's in
Yeah,
that
you're in
that
trouble
general
now.
vicinity. One of those, one of those areas, one of the boroughs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way it is. You have people in your neighborhood. You work with. So he's trying to move on and get out of that life, and he gets hooked up because he can't get a job because he was discharged dishonorably from the army, I guess, or I guess
Well, he
whoever.
was honorably discharged, but he didn't get a good review
That's
from
what
his
it
commanding
was.
officer. Yeah.
So yeah,
But
of course,
did you catch the Cybertronics on the date when it flashed 1994?
I did catch that. I didn't think to look at it because I've been able.
Yeah.
You've seen it like
Well,
how many times
it's
now?
kind of gibberish. It's not really the actual Maximal Cybertronics. They just look like them, like they're kind of pieced together from the symbols. But yeah, they shift into 1994. But that's the first time you see the Maximal Cybertronics language pop up.
And yeah, by the way, everyone who's listening or watching or whatever, they legitimately went after the actual languages that were from the Beast Wars show.
Oh yeah.
They did a deep dive. I was really happy, and I don't think I caught everything they referenced to Beast Wars. The guy, you could tell he's a fan, or someone who is helping him was a big fan. I like that. That made a big
Oh
difference.
yeah, they did a deep dive into a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I mean, it makes the movie better with it being such a good movie and having all these things for actual fans to see that were layered in there. Yeah, it's
Right, and it
fantastic.
wasn't just they dove into the show. It seemed like they dove actually into the fan culture because there were almost like in jokes from the fandom itself that were popping up in there.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure you have those written down. You have your list of Easter eggs.
yeah, I
So
got my list.
we'll get into that. So yeah, I mean, the other plot moves along, and he gets the guy in the neighborhood who he I guess he did the cable box for to
Yeah,
look.
Reek.
Yeah, he was his name Reek.
Reek, yeah.
Oh God. Um, sorry, think of the name, the guy from The Crow, Reek.
Oh,
Um, no, no, Reek.
I was
So
thinking
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Oh God, that too. Jeez.
This Reek was a lot cooler.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets him out there. Man, I actually like the character too. He's in there. He sets him up with a job stealing the car from, I guess, an expensive, garage.
Oh yeah, it was in a hotel.
It was in a hotel. That's right. And I mean,
Yeah,
that car
fancy
been sitting there for a
hotel.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Once again, this is all believable. This is all stuff you can see happening. And he kind of goes in there. It's kind of a goofy like comedy of errors getting in there, but he gets in there. And yeah, the whole thing with I don't know if Mirage was just screwing with him, or he was just having fun with him, or he was just like, kept locking the door on him. He kept, putting the Slim Jim in there, pulling it up, trying to unlock it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was messing with him. It fits the
Oh
character to just a toy with him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he gets in there and he's like, he hears the transmission going across from Optimus Prime. He can't get the car going. There's all kinds of stuff going on. He's trying to hotwire him. And the
And
security
and
guard's
that's
going,
shades of, Raul and Tracks from Make Tracks.
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had a
Very
lot
much
of
so. Set in New York also.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Raul and Noah. So yeah, actually, there's a lot of shades of Make Tracks with this. Including the possibly messing with those wiring a little bit whenever he goes back to the garage.
Oh yeah.
Or no, that was when he was outside of his apartment and the headlights go off. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah, he messed him up there. And then also at that same part, he complained that he got his paint scratched by his brother,
that's
which was
right.
a little bit of Trax's vanity carried
Yeah,
over.
and that was cool too. Honestly, the whole chase was great. You realize why he's got Mirage. He's not the our G1 old Mirage, but honestly, yeah, I think you were saying he feels more like a hot rod character.
Oh yeah, he definitely has that youth element to him, but
Yeah,
also the way Pete Davidson sounds, it sounds a little bit like Judd Nelson's Hot Rod.
it does. I could see that voice coming out of the IDW or hot rod actually.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man. So he takes him to this to the garage where they've all got to meet up. The all the
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
About his powers, his
Yeah,
abilities,
yeah.
that actually matches more closely to the original tech specs for
Oh,
Mirage and the Transformers. Yeah, he was more, I guess, like a displacer beast.
oh, nice.
Like he would appear where he wasn't,
Okay, that's
So
perfect then, yeah,
yeah, it would throw off where he was rather than just being invisible.
nice.
Invisibility was added for the Sunbow show, but according to the tech specs in the Transformers universe profile, he would basically make images of himself where he wasn't, which is
Nice.
what he was
Okay.
doing in this. So,
Yeah. So it's all that they get to that the garage and everyone else shows up, but Optimus Prime is really angry in this. That dude
mm-hmm.
he is like grumpy as hell. Once again, this is not the Bay Universe Prime. This is the Bumblebee Universe Prime. And he's doing why he brought a human there, and he's like, yeah, he's going to help us, and and it was a whole thing where you get the impression he's walking around saying, how do you do this? Like, Mirage, stay there, stay hidden. He's kind of making fun of Optimus Prime's voice because he's that character. That's
Oh
fits.
yeah, and he makes a reference to Big,
He
which
does.
when there was a plot point in Big where they were trying to design a new Transformer.
Yeah, that was
So
definitely intentional.
Yeah, that was totally that's one of those fandom jokes I think that they worked in because
Yeah.
almost at least the old school Transformer fans, all were like, "Oh wow, big,"
God, I remember there was someone talking about on one of the Facebook groups about they're kind of tick that you should be able to have like skyscraper sized Transformers fighting, and that even plays more into that
Oh,
because
totally.
the Transformer in
Well,
Big
and
was like
then in
skyscraper.
Big, they decided he told them it'd be better to have a bug, and then later in the movie, there's like bug Transformers everywhere.
Yeah, nice. God, okay. I'm this. We're in like the first half hour, and there's just all this stuff already.
Oh yeah, well, and going back to Elena's story,
Yeah,
when she gets the Air Razor statue,
yeah.
that's a reference back to the Transformers comics, the Matrix Quest.
Oh,
Was it
it
issue
was like the
62, like the Maltese Falcon?
but I was gonna say the like the Maltese Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Bird of Prey. It was issue 62 in the American comics, and it was 262 through 264 in the UK comics
I remember
because
that
they
was
split them up. Yeah.
yeah, Nightbeat featured prominently because he's the detective.
Oh yeah, and I mean, yeah, I think the only time you see in G1 where you have just a statue of a bird like that. That's the MacGuffin, and it was the main MacGuffin of that story.
Yeah, which once again was MacGuffin of the Maltese Falcon was the MacGuffin of that entire story.
Oh yeah, and the symbols on her, the Cybertronics on the statue, are the letters Q and B.
Yeah, I think we asked you about that later on, and it's be initials for somebody, initials or it means something. But
Yeah,
so
she's
yeah,
quarterback.
so yeah, she takes a closer look at the thing. Well,
Hmm.
actually, we're there yet. Yeah, they have the whole. I guess to go back to the garage, they're all discussing what to do with him, and Mirage gets it. He basically plays to Noah's need to make money.
Oh yeah,
Dude, man, you help us. We get this thing. We'll move on, and you can let you sell me, and then I'll just get out of there. And he's like, "What do you want to be?" I was like, I can be the Porsche. I can be a Ferrari. I can be an F1 racer," which plays to the original design of Mirage.
right. And the Mirage that got changed, they changed his name to Dino from what was it? Revenge of the Fallen. Is that right?
Maybe
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was a Ferrari,
that's right.
so
That's right.
that's kind of a nod to that also.
God. Once again, there's the Easter eggs are plentiful.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
loaded.
yeah. So they kind of and I gotta admit, I really was worried I would really dislike RC, but she came out really well too.
Oh, Dark of the Moon, that's what it was.
Dark of the Moon. Okay.
Dark of the Moon, yeah.
Yeah, RC came out really nice. Ducati motorcycle.
Yeah.
And she's basically been a motorcycle ever since God, Energon.
Yeah. You want to say Energon's the first time she popped up as a motorcycle.
Yeah, and then of course she's that way in like one of the babies. That might have been Revenge of the Fallen.
That was Revenge of the Fallen, yeah,
Yeah.
where there was like 3 RCs.
They looked weird and kind of horrible. But yeah.
They
Not
had
a fan.
Viacon legs,
Oh God, yeah.
the wheel legs.
Yeah, they had or they had stands. You can I don't know. Anyways.
Right.
So that she looked really good. Bumblebee was back to his old Camaro body.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I think that's the way he looked at the end of Bumblebee. He changed his form to a Camaro, and
Mm-hmm.
he just kind of it goes off in the
Right,
sunset.
because he went from Volkswagen to a
Yeah,
Camaro.
yeah.
And there's actually a reference to the 2007 movie in that part when Noah asked him, "Are you a possessed car?" And then in 2007, Sam's like, "I'm being chased by Satan's Camaro."
That's right over that.
So yeah, that's not real. I'm an alien. Like that's easier to stomach.
Yeah, no, I like that. The whole thing with them. It was a I don't know. It felt once again real, and also Andres, our friend Andres said this as well. They all feel like they have weight and they have gravity, and everything moves around like they're real instead of like a billion little parts moving all the time. So they feel like they're liquid and they don't weigh
Mm-hmm.
very much. They all seem like they have the mass of a Freightliner or a Camaro or a Porsche. It feels I don't know. It seems like they got the weight and the gravity of the different forms right.
Right, and I like how they had like just enough kibble on them where you could tell what they were before.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Exactly.
like it all disappeared and turned into little shards. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you could still see hints of their form in their robot mode, which that's one of the things I liked about Transformers. You could kind of make out, like, you could always tell Starscream was a jet,
Yeah, exactly.
or you look at Optimus, you can tell he was a truck. So there was a lot more of that. And Stephen Capel Jr., the director, said he actually wanted to work more of that in, so the vehicle mode didn't completely disappear when they became robots.
I mean, it shouldn't. They're that's the whole point. They're supposed to look that way for a reason.
Right.
In the I mean, even go back to the beasts, they have weight and they have mass. You know, they when they walk around, you hear the thump, and they have a gurgling in their chest, kind of thing. So all that was really nice. You know, but you still had things that make them differentiate them as when they're robots, like you know, the Mirage has like it looks like a headphones like around the back of his head.
Right.
It had these kinds of he had the certain things about them that still give him some differentiating looks as robots, which is nice.
It gives them character. Yeah.
It does. It does. You know, I gotta say also, they were really big on the appearance of, you know, trying to be quiet. Like Optimus Prime, he's driving up quietly. He
Mm-hmm.
transforms quietly and walks into the garage quiet. I mean, as quiet as you can be. All that was, you know, they weren't banging around and falling in Sam Witwicky's backyard, stepping on flower pots and stuff.
Stumbling over the
Oh yeah,
garage and
yeah. But
yeah.
there was still a little bit of that. They played to the little bit of that when Noah goes to his apartment and is talking to his little brother. He kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
he's like standing on the car, but you know, there's
As soon
still
as he stood on that car, I was like,
oh yeah,
that roof's not gonna hold him. And then they started breaking. I'm like, oh, there it is.
yeah, and he being falls around and stuff. Um, yeah, so you know they go to the he goes like to the museum on the island to
Mm-hmm.
you know retrieve the key, and I like that they make a point saying like you know he's like where are we going like well we're going to follow that signal that I can't see, yeah, exactly, when you can't see, so you know establishes that you know we're getting that I guess that we're using like Mirage as the lens and not Noah.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think that
because we
was
can see the signal.
yeah, exactly. We're kind of like as Mirage. We're not as the human, which I thought was a nice little touch. It was very subtle too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, he goes there. He breaks in. He hears the window break, and Noah shows up. He's in like starter gear, like a starter jacket and pants and stuff. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
who are you? I'm the janitor. You're the janitor. And yeah, you know, he's not a good guy. He's trying to be a good guy, but he had you know had a lot of problems. So he's just like, look, I gotta do this. It's important. And he does what every person in a movie like this does really badly. He tries to explain around the whole thing.
Right.
So I
There's
mean,
a couple of Easter eggs in this part too.
oh, that's right. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, when she's looking at the transwarp key under the microscope, you see four characters in the Cybertronics. That's actually the word door. That
Huh?
spells out door, Door in Maximal. And
Nice.
then when she's looking up the Peru's unexplained glyphs article,
Yep.
the names of the editors of that article were Asahi Takara and Daniel Tomey. So it's a Takara Tomey reference.
Yeah. That was nice. I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, well, it's real fast because she pulls it up and then scrolls off the screen. But yeah, next time you watch it, watch right when she pulls up that screen.
Nice. I'll definitely do that. So yeah, it's almost a relief though when they blow the side out of the museum
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, can we get on with this? There's this whole weird tension there. And you know, the security guard gets taken out and they get thrown around and the little freezer guys, I guess they call them
Yeah,
freezer.
they don't call him anything on there, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
Freezer. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like almost like Frenzy from 2007 movie.
yeah.
They're pretty I don't know, they're fantastic. They're just like almost like little minions or whatever, little, you know, guys that send in for smaller things like people.
Oh yeah.
That was a
Oh,
nice
one
touch.
more
Yeah.
thing. When
Yeah.
she's looking at the glyph of Optimus Primal,
Hmm.
like she sees the Cheetor one, then the Rhino, and then if you look at the bottom, it actually says that linguists have determined that this one is called Optimus Primal. Like it literally says Optimus Primal in the like the footnote underneath the picture, the caption under the picture.
So someone's working on the translating the Maxwell language
Yeah, or I guess
or the
the
village.
indigenous people who spoke to him,
Yeah,
that they spoke to, said he's called Optimus Primal.
nice.
Yeah, so yeah, next time you watch it, look at the bottom of that picture and you'll actually see it says Optimus Primal at the bottom. It doesn't name Cheetor or Rhinox in their pictures though.
Dude, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to like stop and as soon as I get this gets released in streaming, that's there and stop, frame it, and watch every little thing.
Oh yeah, deep dive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the whole thing moves along, and I like that there's not like I think the problem a lot of people had with the mix of the 2007 movie and the I guess Dark of the Moon is Dark of the Moon had so much going on that it was
Right,
hard to see what was going on in 2007. It had very barely any like robot fighting, like but you had this like nice little teaser at the beginning of what's his face Barricade and Bumblebee
right.
and little brawl. It was nice to get right into this with it. They're all they Mirage is in his dump truck mode. It was
Oh yeah.
which was kind of ridiculous. He's in that, and they all he's kind of like watching out for him, and he sees all of the the Terracons show up. So all the Autobots show up, and there's a big fight, which is pretty brutal. I mean, I you don't always know how the things are going to show up on screen. I was was it a scrap hook? I was a huge fan of how he came out. Like the ball on the chain
Oh,
he had.
Battle Trap.
Battle Trap, not scrap hook, Battle
Yeah,
Trap. Thank you.
yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah, Battle Trap, the weight of that wrecker ball,
Mm-hmm.
dude, that thing hit. You felt it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and did you catch the Marky Mark reference as they
Oh
were
yeah.
driving up
Oh,
there?
that's right.
Yeah, Marky
You're
Mark and the
Marky
Funky
Larkley, the
Bunch.
Funky Bunch.
He's gonna be an actor.
I did guess that. I did
So
guess
yeah,
that.
I got a Mark Wahlberg reference there.
Yeah, which is
And
great. Yeah.
and when Optimus in that same part told Bumblebee he didn't want him to go to that drive-in movie anymore,
Hmm.
that's a reference back to Transformers, was it #1, the Marvel comic, where they all went to the drive-in movie, and that's where Bumblebee met Buster.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Man,
So yeah, they did their research. They dug into like the
that's
mythos.
nice.
Yeah.
That's great. I haven't read that comic in so long.
Oh yeah, it goes way back.
Oh, old.
That's literally like the first piece of Transformers lore published.
That's fantastic. God, I mean, yeah, whether you say that's the nice thing about it is if you get the joke, if you get the Easter egg, that's even better. But without
Yeah.
that, it's kind of a funny thing. Like, I don't want you to listen to those movies anymore because
Right. It's
all
bad
these,
influence.
yeah, exactly. Spit out all these lines.
You
So,
know, with kids, when you have kids, you deal with that too. Like, what are you watching? I don't want you on YouTube today. What are you
yeah,
watching on there?
yeah, exactly. There was an incident back when my son was younger with my now ex-wife. We had to go because I think we were separated at the time. We had to go and to my son's preschool because he dropped a I'm gonna you know paraphrase or like shorten it here. He dropped a WTF, but didn't say WTF. He said the whole phrase,
Yeah.
in this little private preschool and going. And I looked at her, my ex-wife. I'm like, so where do you hear that at? Yeah,
Those
but
drive-in movies.
no, not that quite. But
Yeah.
the anyways, yeah. So I mean, all that was fantastic. You get, like I said, you're on the island. That big fight's going on, and they are brutal, and so much so that the stakes are like pretty much shown right there, where he takes and he takes out Bumblebee right there.
Oh yeah, and this is the introduction of Nightbird to the live action
Yeah,
stories, and that's a reference back to a season 2 G1
Enter the
episode
Nightbird.
that you just did on here not too long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have the famous scientist.
Oh yes, Dr. Fujiyama,
It's
the famous
Fujimi,
scientist.
the famous scientist. Uh, and actually, the face was more avian looking, like more of like a hook beak thing on it, but it didn't look that far off from like the original concept. Of course, she flies and she transforms.
Yeah, they worked more of a bird motif into her
Yeah,
ninja look, so it's kind of a mix.
yeah, which is
She'd be
fine.
good in Mortal Kombat.
So yeah,
Oh, and Optimus has his axe, his Energon axe from
yes,
the first episode or second episode of Transformers.
Yeah, he starts out with the sword, then changes it up to an axe, which is a nice
Yeah.
touch. And it's not, he gets knocked out of his hand, and that's what the whole thing is. Bumblebee coming up, he's grabbing it, and he runs over to try to use it, and you
Oh
know,
yeah, he was really shocked when Scourge just overpowered him.
I kind of felt like that was a reference to the end of Transformers Prime, where the
Hmm.
Bumblebee picks up the Star Saber and takes out Megatron.
Oh yeah, at the very end.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see
no
that.
spoilers there, guys. It's
And
worth
then
watching.
also that's when Scourge mentions Primus. He tells him, you
Yes.
call yourself a Prime. Primus would be ashamed.
So once again, we're bringing that into the realm of and I like that they refer to Unicron as a dark god.
Hmm.
He's not just a big transformer. He's not just a Galactus. He's a dark god. Then he's references Primus also. So you can essentially well, I hope they would you make the connection where there's lots of different ways they describe Primus and Unicron depending on which show you're watching and which kind of theory you go with. 'Cause I
Yeah,
think they did like three different ways in the comic. But yeah, so Primus and Unicron are like the yin
they're
and yang.
dualistic. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a yin yang thing
yeah,
with them.
exactly.
And for those that don't know, yeah, Primus is basically like the creator god of the
Mhm.
Transformers, and
Yeah,
in some cases, he's Cybertron itself.
yeah, and so, and
Yeah.
which I like that they did not follow the Transformers Prime origin for Unicron, which they did in the Michael Bay universe where
Hmm.
Unicron was Earth, because obviously that's going to complicate things a lot.
That's also why I changed my little avatar here to my Primus picture.
Right? Is that the keeper there with them?
Yes, keeper with Primus.
That was from like what issues? It was like what was the
It's 61. Is it 61? I think.
yeah, what's the name of that issue?
Primal Scream.
Primal Scream. That's right.
Yeah,
Where he kind of tells Grimlock and Bumblebee and maybe
Jazz,
Blaster Jazz
Jazz.
like the whole
Yeah,
story of how they came out and how he originally Unicron and him were the same being
yeah.
and they
Or
had
well, he was made from the sentient core of the universe,
yeah.
and Unicron had come from the previous universe. He'd eaten everything and went to sleep, and then woke up. And a new universe had formed around him, so he just started tearing it up.
And yeah, that's one of the three different versions of the origin story I think
Yeah,
they did in the
later they
comics.
did one where they were like one being that was divided, and they've got, yeah, like you said, several different origins
And
for them.
honestly, I can actually explain that away. I mean, you can say like, well, that's just maybe people have different myths about the same origin story or creation myth.
Oh yeah, the
So,
the original one that Simon Furman wrote was very much like Zoroastrianism.
mhm.
The way they have their benevolent creator god, which is Ahura Mazda, and then you have Angra Mainyu, which is like their destroyer.
In a lot of ways, it's also you can look at what was it? I'm trying to think of the it's Krishna and I'm gonna blank on the name of the dark goddess of the destroyer.
Oh, Kali.
Kali, thank you.
Yeah, Kali.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a classic kind of myth of like a
oh,
creator
the
and
cycle of
destroyer.
creation and
Yeah,
destruction. Yeah,
yeah. Which
yeah,
so I
you
mean,
have.
honestly, gives us also a little more, I guess I don't know, um, mystical kind of sense to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, moving along though, they of course they're gonna grieve Bumblebee, but they take him with them. And I stepped out of the theater to use the bathroom at this point. Apparently, that's where Stratosphere shows up
Hmm. Yeah.
and has a little back and forth with Mirage,
Oh yeah.
which
Mirage finds out who's coming, and he's just like, "Oh, not him."
he
But
looks like the huh?
oh, I was gonna say with the Terracons, when Airrazor's giving her exposition about who they are,
Yeah,
and they ask, "Well, you're Autobots, you're Maximals, and who are they?" They're Terracons. That's a reference back to Transformers Energon, where the Terracons served Unicron.
that's right. Which
Yeah,
once again, um,
yeah, that's
Terracons,
Unicron trilogy they worked in, which is rare to see
yeah.
worked into the live action.
And people are saying, why are they using Terracons? Terracons are there, or they were people were caught up on the idea the Terracons were the G1 Terracons, like Hunger, Whippersnapper.
Yeah,
Uh,
the Abominus
yeah,
Combiner.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, yeah. So like, no, there's been a lot of Terracons in the different shows.
Yeah, and this is leaning definitely more towards I guess, the Energon Terracons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that alone is a nice touch too, showing all that. But so yeah, I noticed Stratosphere looks like the old pilot, the old British pilot from The Mummy.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got like the leather, like
Big old
uh
mustache.
yeah, the mustache and all that. And he's almost got like little goggles on his
Yeah,
top of his head too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the
So
flight
yeah,
mask, as they
yep.
call them. Yeah,
They of course they fly out to Peru because Elena's solved where this is coming from.
right.
So they go check out the temple because that's where they've discovered these the link to this. I can't remember the name of the temple.
It's a Temple of the Sun.
Temple of the Sun. Thank you.
Yeah.
But there's
Oh,
yeah,
about Stratosphere.
yeah.
He was originally a Revenge of the Fallen toy,
Yes, he was.
which
Same
they
same
had
type of thing
Optimus
too.
like parachute out of the plane, but they never referred to him in the movie.
Mm.
But when they made the toy for that plane and had the little Optimus with it, they named it Stratosphere. So this is actually a reference back to that toy from Revenge of the Fallen.
And
So it's
same
his
kind of
first live action appearance.
yeah, and same kind of plane too,
Yeah.
which is nice. I kind of appreciate that too. So yeah, they land in Peru, and then you know Wheeljack shows up, and I didn't know what to think about him, and I didn't know how I felt about it. But once I heard him talking, I was fine with it.
Oh yeah.
Totally okay with it. And there's the little joke. I think Noah's talking about his accent. Where'd you get your accent from? He's like, what accent? He's like,
Oh yeah. With
and,
Wheeljack. Yeah.
yeah, and he made a reference back to Skids and Mudflap from Revenge of the Fallen.
Right. Because he called him. He said that's not pretty racist, man. And then, yeah, how can it be racist? He's a robot.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a quote from Michael Bay. I think Michael Bay said that in an interview somewhere.
I'm pretty sure he did. I remember hearing about that. But yeah, that's directly back referencing Skids and Mudflap. Like, come on, why
Oh yeah.
they can be very racist, man. Um, so yeah, they go on. I like the little thing they do in this town with this festival going on. They have to go through what's become it's a church on top of where the temple was.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through the whole thing, and once again, Elena is they do the whole subterfuge, sneak really easily into this church.
Oh yeah, through the parade, which that's a reference to a plague of Insecticons.
Is it?
Because they remember where Sideswipe had to tunnel underneath the parade.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so
Because they
that's a
they were going down that like the one ravine, and there's a parade right there. So they
yeah.
go around it. That's right. I remember that.
So yeah, that's a Easter egg back to that.
God.
And if you watch the parade, there is a float that looks like a rhino, and then there's a jaguar float, which I guess is a kind of reference to Cheetor.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, the main big one you see when it's like doing the bird's eye view, you'll see
Yeah.
it's a big, colorful rhinoceros, which there are no rhinoceroses in South America.
Well, there's one.
Yeah, there's one, a big metal one.
So yeah, and I like to get to the temple, and they're looking for stuff, and he starts looking at the stonework, and she says that was built in the 1500s. That's not what we're looking for. Once again, showing that she's like, okay, I'm not just here as the plucky female lead. She's like, no, I actually know what
I
I'm
know
talking about.
she's the expert.
Yeah, and which I love at the end of the movie. She gets credit finally for something like this. But yeah, back to this though. I mean, she's like, they figured out it's like like a national treasure kind of puzzle. Like, oh, okay, turn the faces this way, and they all opens up. I like that they get into this, and like, of course, the Terracons are on the way. They're following the Autobots. They knew something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Elena and Noah are down there underground, and they make points say like no one's been here in a millennia, which that's kind of a cool thing, and they kind of follow through this whole. Well, actually, they fight another one of those freezer robots,
Yeah.
and
Oh, and the calendar on the ground there, that where they did the little
oh yeah,
puzzle
that's
to
right.
open it up. It's Unicron.
Yeah, it is.
It has his rings and all that, and it has a skull face in the middle, like death. So,
Yep,
and there are 4 maximal symbols on it, and there's 4 maximals in the movie.
exactly.
So there's a
Which
lot of symbolism worked into that.
oh yeah, yeah, they're kind of paraphrase or kind of work through all this. They Noah has the little hand flashlight gun thing he finds he has,
Mm-hmm.
which I was kind of wondering what they were doing with that, because I don't know if that's really a play on anything else they've done before. It was just something to kind of move it along.
I think the closest thing I could think of was from Dark of the Moon,
Mm-hmm.
the little gadgets that Q gave Sam,
Oh yeah, I
like
can
the one
see
he
that.
shot Starscream in the eye with. That's what it reminded me of.
I can see that. It looked a
Yeah,
little cleaner though, but yeah.
yeah, it was definitely not as janky, more ergonomic.
Yeah, they come out into the jungle and they're over there, and immediately Primal shows up and jumps down and starts yelling at him and pounding his chest and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why are you here? Why are you looking for the key? Um, but back in the tunnels with that tomb, was there
Yeah.
anything in there that was like a little Easter egg also?
Well, there was Maximal Cybertronics on the edge of the slab they slid off,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to spell anything in English. It looks like it might be a code, or it could
Hmm.
just be gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a string of letters and there's a number in front of each of the sets of letters. So I don't know if that's some kind of cipher or they may have just thrown some random symbols up there.
That's possible. If they're going
Yeah,
to put that much effort into it, I had to say they probably are, trying to do something with it. So
it seems almost like they it's something hidden in there because it looks like it could be something because it's set in like segments, like
mhm.
they're words. Like there's
Yeah,
a block of 5, then a block of 4, and then I want to say a block of, is it 3 or 4 at the end, and then there's numbers
hmm.
before each block. So yeah, it could be some kind of cipher that we just haven't been able to break. And I put it through some cryptography programs, and they couldn't really get anything out of it. So
It may just be random.
it's still a secret.
Yeah, who knows? But excuse me. They get out there and of course they come up the thing everyone has seen in the trailer. The Maximals all show up and the Autobots all show up, and there's a whole like who we are and that sort of thing back and forth with,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little exposition going on with all this, and the Maximals take them to the indigenous village, which is kind of cool. It didn't seem, I say this as a white guy, it didn't seem exploitative at all.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed just this is just part of it. This is where they live. This is their thing. It didn't feel like the girl from what was that episode? I'm trying to remember that they had the Incan pyramids.
Oh, Fire on the Mountain,
Fire on the Mountain. It didn't seem as
richest
silly
girl
as
in
that.
town.
Yeah, the green crystals hold all the energy back.
Right.
It didn't seem like that though. It was just kind of nice.
Yeah, and you have the mention of raw energon at this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and that's obviously a reference right to reference to Beast Wars
Mm-hmm.
and a
Oh
reference
yeah.
to I would say Prime.
Oh yeah. Well, and the IDW comics where they had the Regenesis, where different planets
Right.
were seeded with energon by a shockwave.
Yes, right. But it's all inert. Like when Beast Wars,
Right.
it was not usable.
Right. It had to
So
go through a process to become usable.
yeah, and I almost feel like that had something to do with I don't know if that was something like in Beast Wars. You had they had the Vok burn off a lot of the energon and became some of it became more usable, and Prime, it was the whole thing with dark energon and such, because it was Unicron as Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of
Yeah, it
references
needed
in
a
there.
big energy infusion basically
Yeah,
to stabilize it. And you
yeah,
got that from the Planet Buster in Beast Wars. And then,
that's right.
yeah. So,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, and also the symbol that Elena wrote down from the temple,
Uh-huh.
she copied it down. That goes to code. That's X. That's the maximal letter X.
So it's QBX was the letters.
XQB.
XQB. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that could be someone's initials for all we know.
Oh yeah. Oh, and when Noah is talking to Elena and saying we'll have to destroy this key when we get it because
Mhm.
it's a danger, that is a reference to the Nebulons from Rebirth Part 3, where they want to destroy the key to the plasma energy chamber because it's a
That's
threat
right.
to their world.
That's right.
So yeah, they
That's-
dug up some like season 4 Easter egg right there
Kill the MacGuffin, man.
because Optimus was telling him you can't destroy the key. You know, it's
Yeah.
important, and the Nebulon's like, nah, don't listen to him. We got to destroy that key.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that whole thing progresses along, and oh, thunderstorm here apparently.
Ooh.
So yeah, we have all that going on. They- Scourge shoots this clampy thing onto Eraser, and it looks like almost looks like it looks like Cosmic Rust a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's sort of like an infection. He's altering her or whatever. And I don't know if that was a reference to anything in particular.
Yeah, it looked like, you know, an infection. At first, that's what I thought it was Cosmic Rust, and it almost looked like the viral pod that Tarantula shot onto Rhinox in Beast Wars
Kinda.
or Low Road, because
Yeah,
how it had the little legs kind of pop out on it as it flew.
it's true. Kinda
So
did
I mean,
actually.
it wasn't like exactly like that because that had like a fluid pod on it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a low
same
road.
type of device. Yeah, but yeah, it delivered like a virus, you know, that changed her personality, which also I guess is a reference to
Guerrilla warfare.
guerrilla warfare. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it may have just been a vague reference. It could just be that it was the same sort of thing. Like, he had the same
yeah.
idea for
Instead
it.
of a cyber bee, they kind of did the
Weird
little,
bug thing.
yeah,
Yeah, so that
cyber face hugger.
yeah, exactly. So something's gonna come of that later. It's like, your Chekhov's gun. It's
Right.
just
Oh yeah.
there, and you see it. They don't hide it. She sees it, and they mess with it like it's a problem. And she says it's gonna be fine. You know it's not going to be.
Oh yeah. When Scourge touches you, it leaves a mark.
Yeah,
That was her. And it's like, that's the zombie bite.
yeah.
Oh no, it's just a scratch.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna come up later.
Air Racer was the guy who said he wasn't bitten.
He hides it. He's like
Right.
pulls his shirt sleeve down. No, I'm not bitten
Yeah.
at all. I
No.
don't know what you're talking about.
I cut
Yeah,
myself shaving. No.
your arm. Yeah,
Arm.
I like.
I'm
Um.
really hairy.
So yeah, that whole thing plays out. And they're trying to say they get the other side of it, but of course, screws them to show up, and when they're trying to, no one wants to destroy the key. It's not. It's Eraser, turns at that point, jumping
Yeah.
over it, and of course grabs the key and flies off with it and gives it to Scourge. So actually, no, flies off with Elena.
Elena. Yeah. So they
Yeah.
chase her. And Air Razor is also covered with Maximal Cybertronics. It's all over her chest plate and on her shoulders, but it was too small for me to make out what anything said.
Okay.
So, but it's a lot too. I mean, it's like she's all tatted up.
Yeah, it may just been like, I don't know. I guess maybe set dressing, maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe like when we get the 4K DVD Blu-ray, we can zoom in and see what it is.
There you go.
But also the RC and Wheeljack team up. You know how they team up several times in this movie. In the original drafts for the 1986 Transformers movie, RC and Wheeljack were a team.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. So
he wasn't just killed.
yeah. Well, yeah, he wasn't meant to be killed at all in the original drafts and the storyboards. It just said an Autobot. But that shows like they've obviously seen that the way they teamed those two up.
Yeah, I wonder if that one frame from the original 1986 movie was an afterthought. They threw that in there with like Windcharger and Wheeljack.
Oh yeah, and the storyboards, it looked like Smokescreen.
Oh.
And it just said an Autobot next to Windcharger. Windcharger was named, but the guy next to him wasn't, and they just threw in Wheeljack.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But, of course, he shows up in Victory, was it?
Yeah, it was Victory because he helped turn God Jinrai into Victory Leo.
That's right.
So he got better, I guess.
he was as bad as Des Bumblebee was.
Oh yeah. Well, and in Japan they actually explained it. That's the Binaltech Wheeljack that came over from the other universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's a dimension hopper. He's a slider.
That's Wheeljack for you. So yeah, moving right along though. I mean, they so Scourge gets the key. he does this really cool thing though when he addresses Unicron, and almost like he has his virtual reality like set up with his the platform when he talks to him.
Right.
And it's kind of cool. You know, almost I wondered almost if you were seeing kind of things how he sees it.
Right.
It wasn't really affecting the world around him, but it was it's how he sees things. So he does the whole
When he
thing.
got smacked around, though, he really moved.
Yeah, it did. The
Unicron wasn't gentle.
no, and that was a nice reference to how Galvatron was tormented in the 1986 movie when he
Right.
failed him. He tormented him.
And he also told him, you'll wish you died with your planet.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
which
that means he ate his world, and I guess he kind of Norrin ratted him.
exactly Silver Surfer.
Yep.
Which that's one of the big things people say. Like in this obvious, Unicron is definitely grabbed. He's lifted off of Galactus. So once again, you have your Herald.
Right, which
So
is Silver Surfer,
mhm.
Nova, what, the Fire Lord was the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's had a string of them.
yeah,
They did a what if where Aunt May was his herald.
perfect. Oh god, not the Aunt May Amigo, the one that had the man
Oh,
hands.
oh yeah, that thing was horrifying.
Oh god. So yeah, that whole thing happens. He has the I guess the whole thing. I don't know where it comes from. It just kind of forms out of the ground or something. The whole table bridge thing.
Oh yeah, I think from what I was looking at, because you saw it was all like it was a dead volcanic magma chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then when it formed, though, you started seeing the magma seeping up to turn to lava, made lava pits at the bottom. So I think it was actually drawing like the andesite or whatever it is into it. So it was pulling up the magma.
You sound like you're a geologist. I mean, what do you know about
Yeah,
that?
I know a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, you have that whole thing happen. So yeah, I guess you can say it was constructed out of raw materials right there.
Yeah,
And
that'd be my guess for it, because
it makes sense.
just from the effects.
Yeah, a really convenient explanation for it. And
Oh, and we had another Beast Wars reference earlier with the indigenous tribe.
yeah.
Because they, you know, Optimus didn't want to make friends with the humans. Like he didn't want contact with them, but saw the Maximals had befriended an indigenous tribe, and that's going back to like Una and Chalk from
Mm-hmm.
Beast Wars,
Yeah.
where it wasn't they didn't just rescue them, like they would hang out with them and teach them.
Yeah.
They're their protectors. So
Yeah, Megatron didn't take them out.
yeah, he tried.
He tried. The so yeah, the whole thing's happening. And so he opens up the passageway, the portal.
Mm-hmm.
It starts opening it up. It's going to take a while to open up to be big enough for Unicron to come through. But all those like I guess kind of shock troops come out of the out of the foundation, the I don't know the structure.
Yeah, they were just
And
kind of coming out of it. Yeah, like they
yeah,
were
they
just
kind of milled
formed
out of
right
it,
there. Yeah.
which I that was kind of something I didn't put together with anything else. Just I guess it's a convenient way to have shock troops.
Yeah, that was your cannon fodder just showing up.
Exactly. Well, you got to have something to fight. So everyone shows up. Well, I guess before that they're doing the thing, and neighbor looks up and says they're here or they've arrived.
Oh yeah, and you see Big Optimus standing on
Yeah,
the horizon there.
they all line up because that's how you want to start a fight. You want to line up in a row so people know where to fire.
I was waiting for them to start snapping their fingers. Talk about becoming a jet.
Exactly.
They're gonna West Side Story it.
Oh God.
Oh, and
So,
on the key, the transwarp key, the
oh
second
yeah.
piece, yeah, there's two times when they first present it to them, the Cybertronics is mirrored. It's backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
And it says, he who opens the door in Cybertronics. And I think that was actually the first piece. Like they used the wrong prop because it says door going the right way when Elena is looking at it. So I think that was actually that piece. But when Noah is going to destroy it and it's laying there in the sand, it says, what is it? The keeper of the keys. Yeah.
That's right. He told me
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, it says that along there. So it's a completely different inscription and it's going the right way. So that's why I think they might have accidentally switched props because they looked a lot alike.
Yeah, they all look
So
alike into that.
that could have been, or maybe it's got, the same inscription is mirrored on each piece.
That could be also.
Yeah, it could be either way with that.
So
And when
yeah.
they're making their plan, Wheeljack makes a rat trap quote.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he said, it sounds like we're all gonna die.
That's
Which
right.
we're all gonna die was Rat Trap's catchphrase.
But man, the fight was great. Finally see Maximals maximize.
Right. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. He actually yelled "maximize," which was the
Yeah.
activation code from the Beast Wars show.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Primal looked fine. Cheetor moves so fast that really get a good look at him. Kind of
Yeah.
irritated me, but Rhinox looked cool. He looked big. He looked like a big menacing, figure.
Oh yeah.
Freaking
With his
sledgehammer.
big hammer, yeah, sledgehammer was cool.
It's like a war hammer. That was great. And so yeah, that whole fight is going on, and it's starting to it's going pretty well for the Maximals and the Autobots, and then it opens up big enough for Unicron to start coming through. So he starts shooting through all the I guess his
the little minions.
Yeah, the little scorpion minions.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
the Kinder eggs.
Yeah. There's this whole thing where like they're thinking like, oh, this is gonna get really bad, and that's when Stratosphere shows up, and the resurrected Bumblebee flies on. Dude, the theater when I was there, people lost it. And
oh yeah, and the whole Energon resurrection thing that goes back to Revenge of the Fallen, because that's how they brought Jetfire back, and also they needed a source of Energon, which is why they needed the Matrix for Optimus.
Yeah, exactly.
So that fits. That's within the live action universe's, I guess, lore. That if they're dead, you can just give them enough Energon and they'll come back.
Jolt them enough, they'll wake up.
Right.
Yeah, that whole thing was great. And he's falling and taking out those little eggs or little minion egg things, and Nightbird shows up and goes after him, and the whole fight goes on. And you picked up on a great reference to Beast Wars episode. I can't remember the name of the one. It's where
Spark.
Oh,
the Spark.
Oh, the Spark. Okay, I thought it was the one where Pterosaur gets a lot of energy. I guess it was on the Spark.
Oh, that was Power Surge.
Power
yeah.
Surge.
But yeah, this one, it was the introduction of Air Razor.
That's right. Oh, well, there you go.
And the first time they really went into Sparks, in the lore at all. And yeah, at the end, she shoots him to pieces and he falls very similar to the way that Nightbird's pieces fall.
One piece after the other, head falls, Yeah.
I was almost waiting for her head to drop right center screen like Pterosaur's did. And before that, though, there's a part where Unicron says I guess he's talking to Optimus, and he says, the world is already mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a veiled reference to that Unicron is actually in the future that the Maximals came from. So if this isn't a separate reality, then he could still be inside the Earth. Like, that's a hint that he is in there. Like, that world is already mine because it's me.
I mean, that could be. There's no telling.
Yeah, that could be a veiled reference to that because, they like to toy with us with that to leave it ambiguous. So,
yeah. So yeah, all that stuff's going on. Bumblebee comes back, kills Nightbird, and I love the whole the team up with Prime and Primal to take out Battle Trap.
Yeah.
Which once again, the Terracon, the minions of the Terracons, it was not Scourge, but yet it had Battle Trap and Nightbird. Neither of them were weak. They
were tough.
They were for a reason. They were minions of a Dark God. That 100%. I did notice how he was the Scourge and his minions were essentially invincible, but not really.
Right. That's like Beast Wars as well, because every time someone new shows up, they're invincible until like the next episode.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Rampage is unstoppable until the next episode.
Right.
Yeah, but everything is going on, and of course, Elena and Noah go to try to stop they had a convenient tunnel underneath that bridge, which the convenient stuff for the plot,
right? Well, and it was a maximal design though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why it had maximal Cybertronics controlling it, because it came from the key.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess they weren't worried about humans messing them up because they're the good guys.
there's that all that's going on, and they're saying something, and I guess Scourge saw them down there and reaches down and grabs out Noah from the.
Mirage gave him away.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Mirage like, go Noah. And like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, that's right. Because Mirage shows up as he's trying to like take care of Scourge by himself.
He's supposed to distract him.
Yeah, he's trying to pull a hot rod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't, Megatron.
So yeah, he gave him away, and so he pulls, Scourge pulls him out of there, and Elena is down there. She does her thing, and takes out one of the little freezer guys. So she's over there trying to code break the bridge, the key, and all that. But I like how they did all this with Noah and Mirage. So Noah's about to get killed, and Mirage covers him up, and he gets his back shot out.
Yep.
And so he's like, hey, I promised your little brother I would take care of you. And so he once again gives him a part of him, and like creates this like kind of really cool exosuit. And they did it really well. I didn't know how it was going to look.
Oh yeah. And the director, Stephen Capel Jr. said that's a direct reference back to the exosuits from the original movie.
Perfect.
Yeah, he said that's what inspired that. Because if I recall in the interview, he said that wasn't in the original script, and he thought about that, and he wanted to add that.
It's perfect. I mean, especially considering how the movie ended and who we met at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and they were it's more like the Master Force exosuits, the way it made them faster and stronger. Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked like a Master Force suit.
Even like the point where he had pretty nice guns on him. He had a jetpack and everything.
Oh yeah, he got an upgrade.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. And then that whole fight goes on, and I really like the whole Prime finally taking out Scourge, ripping his well, it did was it Mirage or Noah that ripped off his face mask?
Oh yeah, Mirage kicked his face mask off. Yeah,
he looked like an unwrapped mummy or a lich or something.
Yeah, he had little chains. If you look, he has small chains holding his face on.
Yeah.
So, exactly. And part of his cheek is gone. Like one eye is just kind of barely hanging there.
Actually, it kind of reminded me of the same kind of look that the mummy from the first Mummy movie.
Right, when he's got the holes in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is with this style.
Right. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. Prime. Had him have a good fight, and he eventually takes him out. He shoves his face in the magma, and burns it, and basically rips him apart.
And there's a Prime Wars trilogy reference there. So it says, "Yeah, this is the power of a Prime."
There you go.
Yeah, and Noah hacked the hinges.
You do what?
Remember Go with the Flow, the episode from Beast Wars where they were teaching the proto-humans how to fight Predacons.
Mm-hmm.
And they told him you hack the hinges, basically stab them in their joints.
That's right.
And,
he did.
Yeah, he hacked his hinges. He did like Mary.
Mary
Brandy Buck on the Witch King and got him right in the ankle.
That's right.
And let Prime get him.
Nice. And they everything had the key gets hacked, and it gets basically it gets undone, and the rift starts closing, and everyone's getting sucked in. Prime says, I'm gonna says, I'm gonna do this so you can all survive.
Yeah.
And of course Noah shows up and saves them, and they get out of there. We'll get all away from all the drama. That essentially they get away, which it was a nice thing where it sucked all that technology out with it.
Mm-hmm.
Including pulling the Unicron out with it and everything like that. All the minions, everything went out with it.
And if you watch when Optimus transforms, they do the big heroic exit, and he transforms into a truck.
Yeah.
He transforms exactly like, well, not exactly, but like the G1 toy.
Head and all. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. The arms go to the side and everything.
Yeah. That was really nice.
My son noticed that first. He's like, he did it like the toy.
That's nice. I saw that, but there was so much going on that I wanted to, stop and watch.
Yeah, when you watch it again, it's like it's a pretty reasonable facsimile of way he did, and in the TV show too, he transformed like the toy in the G1
Nice.
cartoon. So
They all get out of there, and everything's cool, and everyone's happy, and the Maxwells go off on their thing, and they have this big, nice alliance now, and they everyone kind of got away except for Mirage. You don't know what happened to him because it looks like he's dead. And they even go back in the stratosphere when they're flying back, and Noah's looking at the suit hanging up.
yeah, it's almost like he's mourning Mirage.
Yeah.
Looking at the suit. Which in the test screening, which they had the guy last week that went to the test screening last year, he said that there wasn't a Mirage like resurrection scene or comeback scene. Like he was just gone at that point in the test screening, and they decided they needed to fix that, which I'm glad they did because it's a great character.
Oh, it's a great character, and he came back. He reminded me, the old Frosty the Snowman cartoon.
Oh yeah, they put the hat on him. You put the Autobot symbol on the hood ornament, and then he comes back. Happy birthday!
Woo! Yeah, man, I was a big fan of Pete Davidson doing that.
Oh, he did a great job.
Had fun doing it.
Yeah,
I love seeing him at the premiere. He had the all blue jogging suit with a big Autobot symbol on it.
Oh yeah, he was having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, he's living it up. Elena, like I referenced earlier, she gets credited with the discovery of the temple.
That was added also.
Oh, really?
Because in the test screening, they didn't have that. And when they asked the people, because, they interview them or have them fill out cards, and that was one thing that everybody was saying is like, well, what happened with Elena? Where's her conclusion? And so they added that to the final version because it was left out of the first one.
That's a good conclusion. I like that.
Oh, yeah. And she got the comeuppance and got the credit finally.
Yeah, exactly. It was I want to ask you this though. I haven't read that document. Is the G.I. Joe reference at the end of it, was that in the original test screening?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was.
I really like that. How he's kind of leading them on with the job interview. So you want to tell me about your friends out there? And poor Noah, he's just trying to do us right. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, that's good. It's a good answer. And I don't know. They had he opened he did the, I guess, what was it, the picture?
Oh yeah.
To open the panel and show the kind of looked like, it kind of reminded me of the MIB headquarters. But
did you see what the plaque said?
I did not. It
was the Real Hero Award and had an American flag, so it was a real American hero.
Nice. What were they working on down there? It looked like a pod from the 2007 movie.
Oh no, that was a Terracon dropship.
Okay, that was what that was.
Yeah, what Scourge came down in the beginning when he fought Apelinq.
Nice. Okay,
it's the same ship or a similar ship if it's not the exact same one.
Perfect. That's where they dug it out of the river and pulled it up.
Yeah,
nice. They're gonna reverse engineer some G.I. Joe technology out of that. Cool.
And also, the guy's name is Agent Burke, according to his card. Okay, there wasn't a G.I. Joe named Agent Burke, but there was a character who was it's the spy who rooked me was the episode, and they had like the James Bond guy that was with them that kept making Flint mad.
Yeah.
His name was Agent Matthew Burke.
Nice.
So that may be a reference back to that, or it could be a coincidence.
No, that's got to be. I mean, all the G.I. Joe names they could have used, they didn't. That's great. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, though, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I mean, it's at this point, it was about to hit 200 million in ticket sales.
Oh yeah,
it should be back to being a success. I would hope. I mean, you haven't gotten to the online sales or the DVDs or what sales or anything like that, or Blu-ray sales.
Oh yeah, that's gonna, that just keeps building and building.
And I think it just opened in across the in the Asian market too, which the Asian market is actually one of the biggest markets for Transformers movies.
Oh, and the test screening, they had like a very different ending. In the test screening, Optimus got pulled through the portal and they had a after credit scene that showed him waking up in space and Unicron's there with him, like he's with Unicron, and it like left the cliffhanger.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
Yeah, it seemed almost like they were going to go back to the whole Nemesis Prime thing, but I think they decided they already did that. So
They didn't do it really well either. It was a that was a mess.
it was odd. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the test screening, yeah, they had like that a whole cliffhanger where Optimus is stuck on the other side of the portal. He pulled a Tony Stark and went through the
That's
portal.
right. That's right. Man, okay. There's
But
a
yeah,
lot.
those are all the Easter eggs that I caught. I mean, and like with the Power of the Primes thing, that was also the first time that Ron Perlman played Optimus Primal,
Yep.
and the first time that Optimus Primal teamed up with Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have been really cool to have Gary Chalk do the voice, but I think Ron Perlman did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. I always want Uncle Gary on there.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, all of it was good. Honestly, Rymax didn't really have a whole lot of lines. That was David Sobolov, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the test screening, he had one line, and they actually made a joke about him not having any lines because when he speaks, I think Noah goes, "You can talk." They said that in the test screen. That part got cut out, but that was like a little joke about him not having any other lines in the movie. But David Sobolov, if I recall correctly, he did Apelinq's voice also and Battletrap.
He did. He did Apelinq, yeah, and Battletrap.
Yeah, I believe he did Battletrap also. And a lot of people said that when they heard Apelinq, they thought it might have been Gary Chalk. So David Sobolov may have been channeling some Uncle Gary into it.
Oh, I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was. Well, cool, man. This is going on a lot longer than I thought it was, but it was a long movie. We could have talked about this a lot longer. So.
Oh yeah, and that
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are Easter eggs that we missed.
Oh yeah. I know.
It's very layered.
So definitely check that out. As soon as if I get a chance to see it again in theaters, but if not, then definitely gonna get it streaming. So you'll watch all those things over and over again and drive my wife nuts with it. And
it's worth seeing over and over again because every time I watch it multiple times and I see something new every time.
Yeah.
And it's not like the other like the earlier Bay films where you see new things because there's so much going on that you can't focus on it. This is like there's like layers of nostalgia hidden here and there.
I read a lot of reviews saying it was a mess, like there's too much going on. And I don't agree at all. It was the whole ending, the whole ending battle. There's a lot going on, but it didn't seem like it wasn't a mess. I could see it wasn't a lot of blurred stuff.
Yeah, the camera tracked pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, it did actually. All of it. The Maxwells looked like they didn't look blobby at all, which I was afraid of. I think on the trailer Primal, when he transformed, he looked a little blobby to me, but when I saw in the movie, it was not at all.
Oh yeah, when that was the early CGI in those trailers too.
Exactly.
They hadn't finished it yet.
Everything about it looked great, so I was really happy about it.
And there's a director's cut coming out.
That's what I hear. He was he wanted to have some more stuff in it. I guess he had a bunch more that he had to cut for time.
Yeah, and there was some that they cut because of the test audience.
Yeah,
because there's a scene where Optimus kills a Decepticon named Transit.
Really?
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie.
Huh.
And they felt that it kind of slowed down the pace at first because it's going in how Optimus misses Cybertron, and he's mocking him about Cybertron. And then he dumps his body in the river, and there's like all these dead Decepticons in the river down there.
Holy crap.
And yeah, they said that was kind of dark, and they hadn't developed the CGI for the river part, but he says the transit fight is almost finished anyway. So he's going to add that in the director's cut. But he says the river dump scene won't be there. He says it was kind of dark, and it wasn't ever, that part wasn't finished.
I'll say it again. He's an angry Prime.
Oh yeah,
he's really
grumpy Prime.
Yes. All right, man. I appreciate you doing this with me tonight. I want to get something out there because Ed had a busy last weekend, so we weren't able to record the usual episode. But I want to get this. I'll get this put up as soon as possible. And thanks for everyone for checking us out again. And
thanks everybody.
Yeah, definitely check out AxalonUnderground.net. That's where Boo is webmaster until he gets laid off.
Yeah,
for all the money you get paid from the owner.
Yeah, that guy, he didn't pay me anything.
No,
BZ.
just like Scourge.
Right? He just torments me.
Exactly. All right, guys.
I'm
Thanks
kidding,
so.
BZ.
By the way, a little, back to what I've been referencing a lot of last episodes. Um, Simon Lech, who has the Sunbow archive, he was able to, kind of wriggle out of his dire straits he was in. He's not homeless, so that's a good thing. So if
Oh yeah,
anyone
he got his
helped with
rent
that,
paid. So
yeah, everyone helped with that. Thanks a bunch. I'm sure he's a lot more thankful than I would be, but he does a lot of good stuff out there. He has a lot of great stuff out there for everyone. So I want to make sure we could do what we could on our end.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
anyways, check out the AxalonUnderground.net and check us out on YouTube, and I'll get it put up there. And if you like it, give us a good rating, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your kids, tell everyone. And,
Write your congressman.
no,
No, don't do that.
All right. Until next time, everyone. Thanks a bunch.
Good
We'll
night.
see y'all later. More Than Meets These Guys podcast is performed by Evan Johns and Ed Strickland. Research is done by Evan Johns, Ed Strickland, and with special research help from Boo of the AxalonUnderground.net. Graphics and images in the video portion are created for the podcast exclusively by C. Hooper. Special thanks to everyone who makes this podcast more enjoyable every week.